Hey, good afternoon and good evening, everyone. It's great to see everyone. I hope you enjoyed the last session. We've got quite a few sessions today. So this is the second out of three. We're here with Anesh Kisun, who is the head of India at the Hague and Partners. In his role, Anesh is responsible for strengthening the relationship between The Hague and India. So quite an important role, I can imagine, as well as facilitating the establishment of Indian companies in The Hague. And he is the founder of the Digital Soft Landing Program. So he brings really first-hand and really good practical guidance on international expansion. So that's a little bit of what he's going to be talking about today as well. So hopefully that will be really interesting and insightful session. It's only going to be 30 minutes this time because we've got a bit of a busy schedule, as you're all aware. But we will still have a bit of time for Q&A at the end, maybe for the last 5 or 10 minutes or so. We'll see how it goes. So don't forget to pop your questions into the Q&A or into the chat as well, and then we'll have a look at them at the end. Over to you, Anish.
Super, yes. Thank you, Alexander, and great pleasure to speak here on behalf of the Hague and Partners during the Summer School of Cybersecurity and in collaboration with the Hague Center for Strategic Studies. As mentioned by Alexander, my name is Anesh Kisun. I'm head of India, and I am responsible for the bilateral ties between India and The Hague, forming or at least focusing on the exchange of innovation between both geographies. And cybersecurity is a very important element for us and a very important topic between both of the geographies. So I'm happy to speak today a bit more about that today. And the aim of this session is to give you a bit more of a background on how we as The Hague have developed, let's say, kind of a mechanism to facilitate Indian entrepreneurs, in this case specifically from a cybersecurity background, with the potential expansion of their business to Europe via The Hague. So first of all, I'll talk a bit about our organization, what we do. Then I'll talk or cover a bit more about the European market, the dynamics, and what is a strategic gateway approach to tackle and tap that market. And lastly, I will touch upon the Digital Soft Landing Program, which is a specific vehicle or kind of a unit, a unique concept that we have developed to guide entrepreneurs like you or potential entrepreneurs like you with their expansion to Europe. Like Alexander said, if you have any questions at the end, I'm happy to take them. But for now, let's move forward. So, oh wait, my screen is not moving along. Second.
Maybe just if you reshare, maybe that one.
Yeah, it's not.
Do you want me to otherwise quickly share my screen and maybe that will
Oh wait, yeah, now it's
solve the
working.
issue?
Yeah,
oh, perfect.
It's working.
Great.
Yes, all right, perfect. Hey, so like I said, I represent the Hague and Partners, and we are a semi-governmental unit. We are a separate foundation, but fully funded by the Ministry of Economic Affairs of the Netherlands and the Municipality of The Hague. And what we do is we have the sole aim of attracting foreign investments to the city and the country of the Netherlands. And we have specific aims for that. I'll do it first like this. So the reason why we have been set up and why there are a lot of organizations like us helping foreign companies to expand is, of course, we want to boost our local economy. We want to, if you, for example, set up a company here in our region, usually then you grow, you also will hire people, which means increase of employment. Those are the, let's say, the traditional foundations why organizations like us came into life. However, in a modern context, I would say that we have a third objective, which is strengthen the innovative climate. And that is also the most important objective, in my opinion, these days, is by the innovation, the talent, and the knowledge that you bring, we can enhance our local ecosystems with additions that you can bring. And that is how we can really truly build on the synergy between India and the Netherlands. What I said is, of course, I represent the Netherlands, but specifically the city of The Hague. We are, let's say, the cyber capital of Europe because we have the Hague Security Delta, which is, I think by now in the program, you've also covered it most likely. which is the leading cybersecurity cluster in Europe, consisting of three parts, the triple helix golden triangle model, where open innovation comes together by collaboration between knowledge institutes, governments, and corporates, and also startups. So we work in the Netherlands from that triangle when it comes to open innovation. Then so since we are the cybersecurity capital of Europe, back then when we were interested to build bilateral ties with India, we chose cybersecurity as one of the most important topics. And we've also founded several MOUs with the state of Karnataka, with the state of Telangana, to boost that. And out of those MOUs, this initiative, the Hague Cybersecurity School, is one of the results of those initiatives that we undertook as the city of The Hague in collaboration with the several Indian states. If we talk about European expansion, let's go a bit back to the basics. So why do companies usually expand? And from these motives, we'll proceed to what is the right type of strategies to do so. So in my experience, I have assisted many different companies, being it stock listed companies, being it interesting startups and scale-ups, and also let's say the more mature type of companies. And all of them, basically all of the expansions, they have certain motives. If you go back to the theory, so you have in the past we saw a lot of market-driven expansion. So when Indian companies would come to Europe, it was purely to capture the market. And if European companies would go to India, it would be always from a cost-driven perspective. And that is a bit of the traditional dynamics from the past. However, I'm very pleased to see that nowadays, more and more, we see the focus on knowledge-driven expansion and resource-driven expansion, meaning that it's not purely because of the cost of the market, but we see that a lot of Indian companies, talent, is expanding to Europe in order to bring a higher level of knowledge, a good understanding of certain topics like cybersecurity, and try to complement the ecosystem and the local market by the level of innovation and quality of the innovation that they're bringing, rather than bringing the same solution at a better price. So here in Europe, we really value the quality of the innovation and the level of the knowledge that you bring. And we see more and more dynamic happening between the Netherlands and India, which we're very proud to see. And also on the other way around, we see Dutch companies going to India, indeed, to share their knowledge, and not only just to outsource for cheaper or more cost-effective operations, but really see the Indian market as a very stable market, as a growth market to leverage their innovation, also to make India or help India in their ambitions regarding innovation. So these are the objectives usually when it comes to expansion. And it's also very important for you as an entrepreneur, if you want to be an entrepreneur, to look at what are you bringing to the table in terms of your objectives and how you're covering the market. Reason why I'm saying that is because this is a map which stems from 2020. So it's still kind of relevant. Let's say the theory behind it is quite relevant, because if you look at Europe, it's a very diverse market, okay, with also each having its different strengths and opportunities, but also its challenges. So we are from the western part of Europe, which is the Netherlands, which is considered as an innovation leader. So in our country, in our regions, it's also the same as the Nordics. What we value is high-level innovation, high-level knowledge that is being shared, and that is how we can tap a market. If you are a company that is offering a solution at a cheaper price, yeah, then maybe you should look at other markets within Europe, which have a bit more, which would be a better fit. So according to the type of value proposition that you have, you should also approach the European market from that type of angle. And that is basically the core what I would say. So if you're highly innovative, if you're bringing top level solutions, and looking for markets that want to adopt that in an early stage, come to the dark green parts of the map. And if you have, let's say, more cost-effective solutions, maybe less innovative, but a very good value proposition from a commercial point of view, yeah, look at the other parts of Europe. So by having this insight, you can have a better understanding of how to expand to Europe. So this is from a geographical point of view. From a market point of view, I always say that Europe is beautifully complex, right? So not as complex, I would say, as India, but for our understanding, it's quite complex. So we have 44 countries, we have 24 official languages, 200 unofficial languages. Um, Within 24 hours, if you choose the right strategic location, you can have access to 500 million consumers. Um, the challenges often, which I also feel, is that each market and each country in Europe has its own language, culture, traditions, but also some part they're influenced by the rules and regulations from Europe, and for some part the rules and regulations are directed by the local country's rules and regulations and the law. So every time you want to expand from one country to another country in Europe, you have to be very mindful about each of the different dynamics regarding culture aspects, language aspects, but also how to do business there. Meaning that there's a great variety. It also means great opportunity, but it also requires a lot of awareness if you want to do the European market and tap the potential to European market correctly. Well, in order to tap this European market correctly, I would say you need a strategic gateway, a gateway from where you can easily set up, a gateway from where you can access these 500 million consumers within 24 hours. So it needs to be strategically placed. But also as a foreigner, you also don't want always to um, be be stopped by or be withheld by language barriers. So a multilingual and international friendly environment would be good in order to have a good kickstart. So the Netherlands is in that regard a very good starting point for a lot of Indian entrepreneurs that we have seen. And these are the reasons why. So first of all, if you go to surrounding markets in Europe, think about France, Germany, Spain, Portugal. So their language is very dominant, meaning that before you can even do business, you need to adapt to the local language before you can get access to markets, before you can interact with people, which is quite a barrier before you can actually kickstart your operations. The great thing about the Netherlands is that we are kind of multilingual. I think more than 90% of the people in the Netherlands who are working are fluent in English, meaning that it's very convenient for you as an international entrepreneur to come over from India, kickstart your business. You can immediately start because everyone speaks English. A lot of the information and the rules and regulation also being spread in English, meaning that you have quite an advantage when it comes to starting the business and getting kickstarted. Then we have a very positive international business climate, meaning that a lot of your international peers are here, a lot of international companies are present here. So if you want to collaborate with as a Indian founder, as a company with and have access to this international business climate, it's quite convenient. And we're also very strategically located within Europe. So from the Netherlands, let's say major markets like Germany, France, UK, and the Nordics are very close by, which also gives a great advantage when accessing these markets. And maybe later, if you're interested, we can also touch upon the position of the Netherlands from an international tax and legal point of view, because we have tax treaties with almost every country and jurisdiction in the world. Means that if you structure your business out of the Netherlands, most of the times you can avoid a lot of double taxation and other fiscal implications. But that's a whole different ballgame. We can get into that in a separate session. Happy to elaborate on that. But for now, know that Netherlands is a very favorable country for international structuring of your business. And all these things added up makes the Netherlands a very good strategic location from where you can start the business in Europe, you can get kickstarted, and from there, step by step, access the other European market. If you look at the key innovative industries, and since you're cybersecurity professionals or cybersecurity students, it's very important for you to understand that what are the challenges that we might have. from a cybersecurity perspective, right? So the dominant markets in the Netherlands are life science and health, agri-food, information technology, sustainable energy, high-tech systems, and marine and chemicals. So these are, let's say, by the Dutch government determined focus sectors, meaning that all these sectors are going through a rapid pace and rapid form of digitalization, which also brings cyber risks for them. So, for example, we have agri-food. Agri-food is a very important sector in the Netherlands because of its greenhouses. We have a lot of horticulture, which is great innovation, and it's highly digitized, the greenhouses, but there's also a great cybersecurity risks. So there's a great risk for these greenhouses to be hacked. There's a lot of sensors, a lot of IoT there, which are controlling the temperatures, etc., etc. So meaning one cybersecurity hack could seriously endanger certain harvests. So specifically for these type of solutions or this type of sector-focused approach, certain cybersecurity solutions, some niche solutions could be applicable specifically for the Dutch market. And I know that there are a lot of Indian companies actually working in this field and doing a lot of good work. So it's very beneficial to look into the actual challenges within these sectors. For example, with life science and health, it's mostly regarding the data protection and the personal data protection and the flow of personal data between departments in governments. It's not the same as centralized as, for example, in India, where you have a very nice centralized system. Here, a lot of the personal data, there are kind of blocks between departments, what can be shared and what cannot be shared, which often impedes the digitalization within this sector. So as a cybersecurity player, it's very important to have a good understanding of the challenges on each of these domains and adjust or leverage your knowledge and innovation to solve these solutions or solve these challenges. Then we have for you as a cybersecurity entrepreneur or student who aims or has an ambition to be an entrepreneur, we have developed a specific program in order to help you land properly in the Dutch ecosystem. And what we have done is we have developed a concept called the Digital Soft Landing Program, where we can help Indian entrepreneurs with the validation of their European entry strategy through a fully online method, where your value proposition is being validated by the local ecosystem here in the Netherlands, in The Hague. So by the end of the program, for example, you have an idea, you have a concept where you start with, we give you all the information from a sector point of view, but also business mentoring in order to properly develop your value proposition. And throughout the program, you will develop that proposition. You will also get introduced to sector experts who are going to look at the proposition that you have in mind and also going to give their feedback. And based on all these points, you can basically adjust the proposition and reach the right product market fit, which would actually work for the European market. Because the strategy in India might be completely different with the same type of product or service than for the EU market. And those type of nuances, that is what we want to bring in this program, what we offer to the participants. And how do we do it? We do it through a structured 4-step approach, where in step 1, it's called Explore. We give you all the sector information on the Dutch cybersecurity market, but also on the European cybersecurity market. So that is basically all the input you need in order to shape or pivot your current product market fit or your current value proposition that you have. And then we go to the second step. That is where business mentors are going to take you by hand and going to help you adjust the value propositions and process the inputs you got from step 1 and to make it, let's say, adjusted proposition based on the EU market. Step 3, we have a pool of 120 cybersecurity experts that are from large, let's say, cybersecurity companies in Netherlands, but also from the government and knowledge institutes with whom we connect you with. And on one-on-one conversations with these experts, you're gonna explain your value proposition, and you will we connected with them not with the aim to sell to them, but with the aim to validate. And these people will give you the exact right inputs on why a certain thing would work in the market or why a certain proposition wouldn't work in the market. And lastly, we move towards the last stage of the program, which is called Integrate, where we take you by hand. We discuss your learnings and takeaways. And indeed, if you are ready to expand physically with your business to Europe, we provide you with the full self-landing support to also make the physical step. So first, what we do through this program is we online prepare you for EU expansion. Then you validate it. If everything turns out to be right, we also in the last step help you with the right expansion physically. Objectives, yeah, I've covered this just now. Maybe an example of one of the programs that we recently did with India. So during the end of 2023, Prime Minister, our former Prime Minister, went to India, and we inaugurated the Digital Soft Landing Program on cybersecurity in India with the aim to select, let's say, the top 10 cybersecurity companies from India that has a fit with the innovation teams and the cybersecurity challenges that we face in our ecosystem. And that program was recognized as one of the bilateral priorities of that trade mission between Netherlands and India, and with the aim to select the top 10 of these companies. Then we always work in a consortium. Okay, when we execute this program, we always work in a consortium consisting of different players so that we always have all the expertise, knowledge, and right guidance and partnerships in-house to provide the participants with the right type of guidance. So first of all, we as the Hague Business Agency, we're the founder of the program. We initiate everything. Then we have the municipality of The Hague who's backing us up financially because, they are the ones that do financial support, but also ecosystem support. We have the Hague Security Delta and Innovation Quarter. They bring the knowledge to the program and the connections. Then we're often supported by the embassies and the consulates, and the entire program is being executed by our execution partner called Dutch Basecamp, who are bringing in all the business mentors. And together, all the ingredients will give you the right sets of information, but also guidance to effectively expand your business and explore the market. The few slides on sourcing and selection. This slide is important for you to read maybe later on, where we have defined the challenges per topic as I discussed, and what are also the cybersecurity challenges that are active within these focus areas. And I will run a bit quicker through this because I see we almost run out of time and I want to leave some room for Q&A. I think it's very important to understand this slide before we move to Q&A. So if you look at the type of support that we can offer to Indian entrepreneurs, okay? So we have, for example, this digital soft landing program, which will open up again somewhere next year. So if you're interested, we can circle the round over the announcement with the Hague Center for Strategic Studies, so you can enroll. So with the digital soft landing program, then we have on-ground support in India. If you, for example, decide to expand your business with the Netherlands Foreign Investment Agency. So they have offices in Delhi, Mumbai, and Bangalore. So they are the direct counterparts from the Ministry of Economic Affairs, based usually at the embassies and consulates in these regions, who will be your local point of contact, also for visas and also other information that you need in order to expand. And then we have Decan Partners, that's my organization. We're literally the bridge between India, what's happening here, and the local ecosystem, and make sure that everything happens smooth when you physically expand. And lastly, we will also help you to get introduced to our local ecosystem enablers. Think about the municipality of The Hague, Innovation Quarter, which is a regional development agency with a focus on cybersecurity, and the Hague Security Delta, which is, like I just mentioned, the cybersecurity cluster of The Hague. And lastly, we also have a dedicated desk for you as a person We, as the Hague partners, we help let's say, the company, but we also have the Hague International Center, which is the dedicated desk to help internationals with settling in our city. So this is basically the full flow of support that we can offer you. All of this is free of charge. Important to mention, because the Dutch government and the municipality of The Hague are financing this in order to attract the brilliant minds of this world, which hopefully you belong to. Yeah, we are very keen and interested to build upon the ties that we currently and already have with India. And if you have any questions, let me know. We're always open to speak to you about it and see how we can guide you.
Amazing. Thank you very, very much, Anesh, for this amazing presentation. It's really, really great to see kind of what opportunities there are for those people who really, want to get out there and maybe start a business or, expand. So we've got one or two questions in the Q&A. So one person is asking, how would you recommend getting the foot in the door to get into like EU businesses? What is, I guess, apart from, of course, uh, exactly your organization itself. Is any tips you have?
So the question is market approach for EU customers, correct?
Yeah, getting the foot into
Yeah.
the door. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think there are a few ways how you can go about it. If you are, let's say, if you've built up great track record, which you can demonstrate maybe in your domestic market, you can try a direct approach. And mostly in EU, it's not, and especially in the Netherlands, what I've noticed, it's not the fact that you promote your products and services. That's not very appealing. What works well is the use case studies. So rather demonstrate how you use your knowledge and innovation to solve a complex problem, make a use case out of that. And that is what you should demonstrate when you speak to European customers, because that will catch their interest. Pitching products and services, that doesn't usually work well, but it only works if you have a good track record. On the other side, if you're a bit more starting company, the trust factor is very important in the EU market. So it's sales cycles are quite long. Cybersecurity solutions are procured based not only on the quality but also on the trust. Sometimes, as a smaller company, it might be beneficial to partner up with a current Indian firm that already has, or a European other firm that already has access to customers and that also offers your solution. Because the overcoming the trust factor as a new player, and especially if you're a smaller player, could be a great challenge as a firm to overcome.
Amazing. Thank you so much for that really detailed answer, and I hope that the students here that they can really that they can really gain from this. Thank you so much. I'm aware of the time, so I think we'll leave it there. But thank you very, very much again. And Anesh, it's really great to kind of really build on these connections between India and the Netherlands. It's basically what the whole cyber school is about as well. So really, thank you very much to kind of give a showcase of what can happen next for those people who really want to build on it. So thank you very much. For the students, we actually have the next session straight after this. So unfortunately, you don't have much of a break. It's going to be on DNS security with Pavan Gadi. So yeah, so we'll see you there in a couple of minutes. Thank you very much.
Pawan just visited The Hague, I think 1 month ago when he was here.
There we go.
He can also share a bit of the stories he had here. Yes.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks for the
opportunity.
And if there's anything, you know where to find me. Happy to assist and share knowledge wherever needed.
There we go. Thank you. Bye-bye,
Yes.
everyone.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.